Light of love, universal wisdom, shine your love on us. Hello, welcome to Mystic Mindfulness. I'm Christine. Thank you for joining me today. Appreciate you so much. As you know, my videos here are about healing from religious wounds, and I recently encountered a situation that came up for me personally that was very painful, and I thought that I would invite you in to join me on this journey that I am working through. And I'm shedding light and love into what I've recently experienced, and maybe by doing this you might also find it helpful for you. So again, I have my diary. I've been writing in it for a few days. It started out with a conversation from someone very close and very dear to me, and I thought that we were having a very open relational conversation. But it felt like I was blindsided by a bait and switch conversation that was more about the agenda than my heart. And I was sharing freely my personal beliefs, and their whole intention and purpose was to get to their bottom line agenda. That was what they were for. So again, this person is very close and personal to me, so it was very hurtful. So I did think that we were having a very open, honest, relational conversation, and I expressed things that were very personal to me in my personal beliefs that I don't really share too much with a lot of people for fear of being wounded. So in this trust conversation, I expressed my own personal beliefs. In the end, I was told that I didn't have the God of the Bible, and that their whole intention was to, I guess, enlighten me to this and to keep me from hell, which wasn't the exact terminology for that. The exact terminology that was used was that they were concerned about my personal well-being and where I would spend eternity, and that we shouldn't just theorize about that. So I'm laughing now. I wasn't laughing so much then, because again, it was very, very painful. And let's see, I wrote this today. I was recently told that I didn't have the God of the Bible. Then maybe God isn't in the Bible. He may be found within the Bible, but God is all and in all. God is love. God is the source of love. Source energy. Love, light, frequency, and vibration. When I lost my religion, I thought I had lost God. Losing God for me was more painful than losing my 4-month-old son. Then I realized through this loss, through this grieving, and through recalibration of personal beliefs, that you cannot lose God. You cannot lose love. Love is. Love in its purest form, which is God, or source, or higher consciousness, is a frequency, a vibration that penetrates the darkness and magnetizes the soul. So think what you may about me, but may the source of love within me shine brighter than the day before. May that speak for itself. And then I wrote this 2 days ago. I may not fit in with your religious beliefs. I may not be acceptable according to your ideals. I would have been fine to just let it be, but your judgment of me left me reeling in pain. I poured out my heart as to a trusted, beloved friend. I believed your questions of me were sincere. I had no idea that you were seeking to find fault. You set down the gauntlet and severed my heart. I don't expect anybody to believe what I believe, and I don't judge them for not believing me, because I do feel that if God does exist, and nobody really knows that for sure, I'm not making a statement here to make anybody believe what I believe. I'm very open-minded about this, but for myself, that love is so intense and so deep that there isn't anything that I could call it other than source, higher consciousness, love, and God. And I haven't always felt comfortable using the name of God because it comes with such religious stigma and can be very hurtful. Just that name alone can be very hurtful. I use it a lot, I guess, probably because of religions, and it's a way, I guess, to I think of God in such a more broad term, and by using it, I think we can overcome those hurts and those pains, that limiting concept that so many religions have placed upon the word God. And I would like to go above that and allow people the opportunity to heal from even that. So the reason why I use God so frequently isn't because I expect anybody to believe in the religious God. I am healing my own heart, and this is a journey that I'm going on. And if we can surpass the limiting mindset of what religions have placed upon that name or that word, I think healing is so much easier, or maybe not even easier, but just easier is not the word, because sometimes we have to face the pain in order to get through the pain. So it's a process that me using the word of God or the name of God is an opportunity for us to, and someone's at my door, is an opportunity for us to process through that pain easier. Thank you. Hello, I'm back. Okay, so the way the conversation got started was with a question about something that a friend of theirs had discussed with them. And so it came back to me, what do you consider your worldview? Do you consider it with religion? I asked because the other day a friend, ... And we had days, like a whole week worth of this conversation back and forth. And every time I would answer a question, another question would come back. I would answer and then another, and then it was just ongoing. And eventually I just felt like it started out where it felt very freeing, like it was a mutual conversation, just out of curiosity. You can have an open-minded curiosity and not be at all judging of another person, but eventually it got to the point where the questions it felt like they were trying to trap me in something that I had said, or to find fault with it. So I asked, why are you asking me all these questions? And the answer was, I am asking you these questions because I care about you. Life is fragile and time on earth is short. People die unexpectedly every day. Eternity is something that we should be sure about. It's not something to theorize about. And then it was followed with, the God you describe is not at all the God of the Bible. So, I wanted to say, of course it's not. That's what the whole conversation's about. That's the purpose of this conversation, really. You're asking me questions and I'm answering them, and it's obvious that I have differing views now. So I'm not wounded that you think I don't have the God of the Bible. I'm wounded by the way in which the bait and switch took place. And then it felt very deceiving. Because if you wanted to have a conversation to prove me wrong in order to prove your religious agenda, come out and say, hey, I'm concerned about what you believe, because I don't think it's going to fit in with what I believe, and I want to help save you, I guess, even though this person was not happy that I used the word saved, but ultimately that was the goal. So at least then I could decide and determine for myself whether or not I wanted to be part of this conversation. And it wasn't until after I found out everything that I was like, oh, okay, well, this isn't what I thought this conversation was about at all. So that really hurt, on top of just the wounding of religion in general, and how it felt so deeply, I was so deeply grieved when I lost my religion. Then to have that memory of that pain come back again, verbally, by someone that I felt I could trust. So I really had to be loving in my response, be honest in my response back, and speak the truth in love. But that's hard for me to know, because I've been such a huge people pleaser in my life. I wasn't sure if me even speaking my truth was being loving. And one of the things that came through in a message today on, I can't remember what it's called, like it's my star thing that I have an app on my phone for. It said, if you can't respect your time and your energy, nobody else will. And I think that also goes, if I cannot respect myself as a human being, nobody else will. And so if you're struggling through speaking your truth in love and setting healthy boundaries and telling people this was completely hurtful and unacceptable behavior, and I won't stand for this. If you're in a situation where you have to do this, but you've been a people pleaser your whole life, it can be very difficult to do, but very necessary. And I sought counsel in this as well, because again, I had responded first based on my truth, and then came back because this person that I had spoke this to had said, you're being hurtful too. And I had to look at it and go, no, I was speaking very truthfully to the situation and saying that you've hurt me by this bait and switch conversation is not hurting another person. If they're taking it that way, there's something wrong. So look at that too in the whole thing. If you come to somebody and say, my feelings have been hurt by something that you've done, and they come back and say, well, you've hurt me too, maybe there's another issue going on there that needs to be inspected. And you can find help in this in all areas on YouTube, or even just Google searching that. But if that's you, I would definitely seek that help. And after I had, responded back, I did seek counsel, because I was confused. Like, how is me expressing my hurts and my pains in a loving manner, saying this is inappropriate behavior, I'm not going to allow this into my life anymore, hurting them? So I had to really process through this, and it's been about a week that I processed through this, and I've come out feeling more loving and more genuine to myself. Because if we don't love ourselves first, we aren't going to be able to fully love anybody else. So that's a key element too, is if you're loving yourself and you are setting healthy boundaries in a loving way, that's a sure sign that you're doing what's best and what's right for you. And so I wanted to share that and send that along. Love and light to you. May you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me today. We'll talk again soon.